Good morning, fourth grade. We're ready for math lesson 155. Let's start with going over our concept cards this morning. Give the answer the best that you can, and then I will tell you the answer shortly. What is this? Trapezoid. Parallelogram. Rhombus. Triangle. Parallel lines. Perpendicular lines. Simple closed curve. Polygon. Point. Line segment. Line. Ray. Right angle. Congruent angles. Intersecting lines. Kilo means 1,000. Deci, 1/10. 100th. 1,000th. 10. 100. 1 meter equals how many decimeters? 10. 1 decameter equals how many meters? 10. 1 hectometer equals how many meters? 100. 1 kilometer equals how many meters? 1,000. 1 meter equals how many millimeters? 1,000. 1 centimeter equals how many millimeters? 10. 1 cup equals how many fluid ounces? 8. 1 decade equals how many years? 10. 1 score equals how many years? 20. 1 millennium equals how many years? 1,000. 1 tablespoon equals how many teaspoons? 3. 1 metric ton equals how many pounds? 2,200. 1 kilogram equals how many grams? 1,000. 1 ton equals how many pounds? 2,000. 1 pound equals how many ounces? 16. 1 bushel equals how many pecks? 4. 1 peck equals how many quarts? 8. 1 gallon equals how many quarts? 4. 1 quart equals how many pints? 2. 1 pint equals how many cups? 2. 1 meter equals how many centimeters? 100. 1 mile equals how many yards? 1,760. 1 mile equals how many feet? 5,280. 1 yard equals how many inches? 36. 1 year equals how many days? 365. 1 year equals how many weeks? About 52. Okay, so yesterday we talked about the perimeter of a rectangle. First of all, what does the word perimeter mean? Remember, the word that is in it, the word meter, means length. Well, perimeter is the same thing. It means length as well, and it's the measurement of the length around something. The length around a polygon is your perimeter. So if we have a rectangle and we want to measure the perimeter, the length around it, we have a formula for that will help us define that. And our formula is P equals, in parentheses, 2 times L plus, in parentheses, 2 times W. And the reason for that, remember, the lengths on a rectangle, the two lengths are the same, of course, and then the two widths are the same. So you just go 2 times the length and 2 times the width, and you add them together. And whatever is inside the parentheses is the part that you do first. Now, what if we have a square? How do we find the perimeter of a square? Look at this square here. Maybe not be perfectly square, but it's supposed to be. So this is a square. And how do we find the perimeter or the length around the square? Now we have a formula for this as well, which is like we talked about, kind of like a recipe. If you use the correct recipe, the correct formula for what you're doing, your answer should turn out correct. So if we want to find the perimeter of a square, now something about a square is that all 4 sides are the same length. So all we have to do to find the perimeter of a square is go 4 times the length of one side. Does that make sense? Because there's 4 sides and every side is the same length. So it's simply perimeter equals 4 times a side. Okay? So let's try that here. I have 2 dimensions. We have one square with a side of 7 yards and another square with a side of 18 inches. So we want to find the perimeter of both of these. So we know our formula is P equals 4 times S. These are both squares, so every side is the same. So let's write our formula. Remember, it's important to write your formula down for every problem so that you remember it and learn to do that well. So P equals 4 times S. Now our side is 7, so we have P equals 4 times 7 because our side is 7 yards. Now we're going to multiply. 4 times 7 equals 28. Our unit is yards, so we'll write that down. And the perimeter, or the length around our square, is 28 yards because there were 4 sides and every side was 7 yards. Now we have a square with a side of 18 inches. The formula is the same here. To find the perimeter of a square, you go P equals 4 times a side. So we have P equals 4 times, and a side is 18 inches here. So now we're going to go 18 times 4. 18 times 4, we have 32, and then we have 4 times 1 plus 3 is 7. So we're left with 72. Perimeter equals 72 inches, and we need to make sure we write our unit here. So the length around this square is 72 inches. 4 sides, 18 inches each. Multiplied it, and we got 72. So, formula for the perimeter of a square, P equals 4 times S. Rectangle is P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. And 2 times L, 2 times W are in parentheses. In your lesson, in the first part, you need to find the perimeter of the squares just by using addition. So, think about how you're going to do that. How many times do you need to add the sides together? And then in number 2, they want you to use the formula. Use P equals 4 times S to help you find the perimeter of the square. In number 3, they give polygons. There are squares and there are rectangles. So you have 2 formulas to choose from in number 3. Either P equals in parentheses 2 times L plus 2 times W, or P equals 4 times S, one of these. Okay, that is all for class today. Work your lesson carefully. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in language class.